Good morning to all of you. Whether my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since I have completed first unit, okay, maybe from Monday onwards, Shikumar sir will take a class. So in my previous classes, maybe first or second classes, I have informed about you can develop and deploy the mobile applications from two sources. One is through Android Studio Framework. Okay, second is through what is called as a MIT App Inventor. Okay, this is a tool which is used to develop Android based applications and can be deployed uh, into a mobile platform and also as well as in your systems if you have any kind of Android hardware components within it. Okay, so this is a very simple tool actually. uh, See, when you want to install this Android Studio framework, you require a lot of internet connection, and it takes a lot of space. Okay, and since there will be emulator which will get embedded in the devices, so it is a time-consuming process. Okay, but all coding and all you have to learn, because since you know Java, and you will be learning more about this various fragments, okay, Android components and its deployments and other things. So you have to try that. Okay, but in fact there is a one more tool called as a MIT App Inventor. Okay, so if you just try to go to this appinventor.mit.edu. Okay, so it's a tool which will help you to uh, develop a APK file and get deployed on the mobile platforms. Okay, so you have the methodology of doing it. You have tutorials. Okay, then you can design your app and put it in the stores. Okay, so you have so many the things in this case. So the URL is appinventor.mit.edu. Okay, it is very easy to start your all your applications, and in fact you can also do lab programs. It does not require any kind of a programming language, so you need not write any code for this. Okay, it's very simple to carry out the process. Okay, and you see there are tutorials which are available here. Okay, and there are also directions how to do it. Okay, so if you just write go to this specific tool. Okay, so you will come to know the various features and you can explore in fact so many things. Okay, but let me just show you a demonstration of using this MIT App Inventor. So once you go to this MIT App Inventor, so the screen will be something like this. Okay, so see here there are palettes. Okay, so you have components. All your user interface components are available in the left column. That is, you have first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. First column you will have a palette where you will be having all new components, user interface components. Okay, second is actually it will display how if you just try to put your interface components onto a mobile devices, how it is going to look, so that you can see. Okay, and so only there are three options here. You have phone width of size 505 and 320 pixels. Okay, so I have just created a simple app. So where I have this label, names and text fields, and a simple button. Then if I want to see how it looks in the uh, tablets, so you can see the interface for this tablet, the same interface. This how it looks in tablets. Suppose if I want to execute the same thing in the monitor, I mean to say in Android laptops, so I can go for this. Okay, this is how it looks. Okay, and this is actually a display, the section. This is called as a display section. Next, you will have third column, what is called as components. Okay, whatever the components I have that you're seeing on the screen here, So all those components will be made visible here. So here if you take, I have got three labels. Is it clearly visible? Are you able to see the wordings? Are you able to see it properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I have a label 1, label 2, label 3. Label 1 is a my application, label 2 is enter your name, and label 3 is a enter the password text. And I have got one password text field where I can just try to enter whatever that I wanted to do it in this, and I have one button. Okay, so whatever the components that are available here, so all those components will be showcased in the third column, that is under the component view. Okay, and whatever you want, you can see, you can also replace with the name that you wanted here. Okay, so password text box 1, password text. So whatever name that you wanted to give it here, so you can just give it. Okay, say I just give it a password or something like that. So it is basically a name. Okay, it's basically a name. So three labels. Okay, and you have two text boxes. Text box is available. Then you have a button. Next, then if you have any kind of uploading anything that you wanted to upload on the screen, then you can go for this upload option. Okay, so in many of the user interfaces you would have seen enter your resume or enter your CV, okay, or any other documents which you wanted to upload. So there is a provision in the component column where you can browse the whatever the component that you want, okay, and that you can put it here. Okay, so there is a provision for, so once you try to set something and click on OK, so whatever the files that you have chosen will come and sit here. I have chosen screen1.png file. Okay, so it has come. So during the process of execution, so this will be visible. Okay, this is the third column. So next is the fourth column is a properties. Okay, so in the fourth column, for whatever the components that you are using it, I can change the background color if I want. So here you have a sign, a color, blue color. You can just click on this. Okay, whatever the color that you wanted to put for a specific component. Okay, so all these things can be made applicable for this specific components. Okay, so similarly, if you go to labels, you have a different thing. Okay, see again, if you want to put some colors in this, you can write it. Okay, I mean to say you can select whatever the options that you want. So depending upon the type of component that you are looking for, that is there on the mobile devices. Okay, that specific properties will be available. So the second option is say enable. Okay, suppose if user does not want to do any kind of operations on that, then I can disable it. That means so nothing is going to work. Okay, next, if I want to make something font bold, you can see here, you can see the difference. Without using the font bold, it looks very dull. And if I just try to click on font bold, you can see it is very bold. Okay, so here you can see. So in this case, in label, okay, it's font bold. Then if I want to make it as italic, say it is italic now. Okay, so if I want to make it as say 18, you can see increase the size of a font. Whatever the size that you wanted to have it, so it can increase. Okay, so these properties can be made a set for any kind of components. Now, what kind of the font? It has got by default some font, and apart from that you have sans serif font, serif font, and a monospace font. Okay, so this you can apply. Then if you want to look at, say, ash margin, if you want to put some kind of a margin, you can enable this. And what should be the height, okay, in terms of pixels and percentage and all those things, you can just put it. And what is the width that you have, automate. So depending upon the type of the screen, you can width, you can have the pixels. Okay, similarly, the text here, if I say I have some text here, what is that text? I can change hello. Okay, so say welcome. So this is for text. Okay, I have written say welcome. So correspondingly, it is it has changed. So it is possible to make your the application interface very attractive and lucrative by using these properties. See, the same thing, if you want to do it in Android Studio Framework, you have to do a lot of coding, and text, colors, and other properties needs to be, it has to be set at the runtime. So here it is very simple to do it. You can have a very good application interface here. So in fact, whatever the programs that you have, so all these programs can be made to work on this specific platform. Okay, so similarly, if I want to make it center, I can make center. Okay, I want to make it left. By default, it will be always left. Okay, if I want to make it right, okay, you can click on this. See, it will be in extreme right. And what are the text colors that you want to have it? So I can select, say, anyway, it is black only. So I want to make it as something green. Okay, you can see it is in green color. I want to make it in red. It will be in red color. So at the runtime, all these things can be made very clear before actually you start deploying it. Okay, so you have buttons. Okay, you have to just drag and drop here. That's all. Okay, so and suppose if I'm dragging this, say, button, so here you can see text for button 2. So I want to make it as a reset. Okay, so reset button. Okay, so it has become rest. Sorry, it is reset. Okay, it has become a reset. So whatever the properties that I want to apply for the components, so that you have to only just drag and drop here. Similarly, say checkbox, I want to have it, I can put checkbox. Okay, see all these components you can see here. So checkbox. Okay, then if you want to have this date picker, so that is possible to do it. Okay, that means it just gives you a calendar kind of, the image. And list picker, password text boxes, sliders. Okay, you can also put sliders here. That means when you are connecting this interface with any kind of internet based activity, then you can showcase that whether something is getting downloaded or not. So that will be showcased. So you would have seen in some of the applications, when you are downloading it, so you can know what is the percentage of download and all those things. Okay, so that kind of things can be done here. Okay, so text box. Okay, so text box can be written here, and whatever the kind of font, background color that you wanted to give it, so all those things will be available. Okay, so you can adjust all your height, width, whether it should be multi-line text, okay, or it should be only numbers only, it should be read only. So like this, you can enable whatever you want it in this specific field. Okay, so these are the properties. So if you just try to select any component and deploy it on the mobile screen, so corresponding to that specific component, you just try to click on that, all those properties will come. See here again for buttons, if you just look at this button, uh, somewhere I'm keeping it centered. Okay, so you have a rounded, you have a rectangular, you have a oval. Okay, you can see the difference here. It is in oval shape. It is in a rectangular shape buttons. Okay, then you have this rounded shape. Okay, so whatever the kind of styles that you wanted to have it, you can just try to have these components here. So next is levers. Okay, so here you have different kinds of lever. So horizontal lever. Okay, so where you can place all your components in this. You have got a table kind of a lever. Okay, if you want to have tables, you can have tables. Okay, then vertical arrangements you have. Next, if you want to have any application or feature where you have camera kind of an option, camcorder and all those things, so all these informations will be available to you. The camera, so all this, see in the component column you can see all these things. Similarly, the sounds, then media players, then sound recording, text to speech. Okay, all this the components are available under media. Wherever there is a multimedia kind of a contents, you can just drag and drop here. And if you want to kind of draw any kind of animations and other things, so that is possible to do it. Okay, and you can also have this maps, different kinds of maps. You can have it here, you can see here. Okay, it will be actually live. Okay, if you're looking at it. Okay, or if you want to put marker, so that is also applicable. Okay, so there are so many the options which are available here. Okay, in fact, your IoT based projects also you can do it here by using the sensors. Okay, where you have this accelerometer kind of a sensors, you can have it, barometer, barcode scanner. Okay, so there are location sensors. So many components are available in this specific palette. Okay, and this can also be integrated with your existing applications. Okay, like you can have your phone calls. Okay, then you will have your email pickers. That means when you are just trying to drag and drop on this mobile screen, whatever the functionality that is being defined for that component, so that will work without doing any kind of a coding. So suppose, say for example, uh, if I'm picking at the email picker, so automatically you can just type your email ID and validations already would have happened at the back end. You need not do any kind of a validations. Okay, similarly, contact picker, it just works like your contacts in your mobile devices. And similarly, phone call, okay, and sharing option, okay, testing like SMS, Twitter account, etc. And again, you can also put your entire applications, whatever you are doing it, onto a cloud. Okay, but doing the same thing with the Android Studio framework, you should do a lot of configurations with respect to Firebase, because Firebase is one such database where you can have a dynamic interactions with the database. But here it is very easy to do it. Okay, and whatever the surveys that you are doing, in fact, if you have any kind of application features in your mobile devices, okay, where you are required to store it in a file, so you have file options here, so you can use these file options. Similarly, you have tiny database, you have, okay, web database you can have. Okay, so each of these features will have got their own functionality to do it. Okay, and if you want to connect your application, to any kind of a Bluetooth clients or a Bluetooth devices, okay, or to any kind of existing web applications. So these things can be done. And if you want to connect your devices or your software that you are going to develop using this, can be connected to any kind of hardware devices by using your serial option. Okay, so like this, you will have see here also again you have a Firebase database. Here also you are having this option. Okay, through this one also you can connect it to a cloud database. Okay, and think and there are a lot of extensions which are available, which just works like the plugins. Okay, and depending upon the kind of the devices that you are using it, so you can use this. Okay, so this is all about designing the front end. Okay, you can just design the front end option here. Now in order to write a code here, I told you, you are not writing a code, you are using something called as a blocks. Okay, so there's an option called the blocks on the top, so you can just try to click on this blocks. Okay, so blocks is something like this. Okay, blocks are something like this. So see, whatever the components that you have it in the interface, what action it has to do. So for example, I have a button here. Is that yeah, I had a button here. Okay, and name of that, there is only one button, it's a button one. But when I click on that, some action has to be triggered. Okay, in order to do that, the triggering, what action is to do it? Suppose if I keep my cursor on this text field, what it has to do it? Okay, any actions that you want to trigger on the mobile devices with respect to that specific user interface, then you have to go for a block. Okay, so here when button 1, so you can see if there are n number of buttons, so it will show you all the buttons here. Okay, so whatever the components that you are having it, for all those components will be displayed here, and for each of this component it will show you what kind of actions can be taken on this. Suppose if it's a label, if I'm taking a label, what I can do, I can set the label to background colors, or I can give the background color. I can set the font size. If I want to have margins, I can put it. I can increase the height percentage, or I can give a text. I can make something text visible or not visible. I can set the width of a label in terms of percentage and as well as the normal thing. If I'm going to say text box, so what I can do with the text box? I can change the background colors. I can make text enabled or disabled. Okay, I can increase the font size. I can increase or decrease. I can make the text box single line or multi-line. Okay, so I can add whatever the component that I wanted to add. If I'm going to a text box, see, you have to just drag and drop. That's all. Okay, so suppose when I'm clicking on button 1, so there will be one text box. So I want to make it as visible. So I can just place it here in the appropriate place. Okay, in the appropriate place, I can just place it. And what it has to do, I can just add like this. Okay, since there is no the logic being written here, so hence it is showing this wrong mark. Otherwise, you can just drag and drop for whatever the actions that you wanted to do in a specific place, and you cannot just place like this. If you are showing this, this is not the correct way of doing it. So you can just try to add like this. So it has to attach like this. Okay, for I'll just showcase you on demo also. Similarly, if I'm going to a password text box, what are the things that I can do? Okay, so whether some int has to be given. Okay, so width, visible, text color, text, hint, height, font size, enable background colors. All these things are the attributes for this specific component. Similarly, if I am going to a button, what I can do with the button? Okay. Also, these components will be made visible. So whatever I wanted to have it for button, when I click on that button, something should happen. Get focused, long click, lost focus, touch down, touch up. All these things you have studied in JavaScript. Okay. So here you are doing hard code there in JavaScript. In fact, you have to do it in this Android Studio framework also. Yesterday we have used that set on click listener, then on click method has been used. Okay, we have used the set text method. Okay, then we have used a typeface to change into italics and blue background by using a typeface. Okay, but here you don't require all these things. Okay, at the appropriate place. Okay, so you have to just add like this. You can see here, you can just, so that means when I am clicking on a button one, I had showcased this designer. I had on button here. What should happen when I click on button 1? Okay, so when I click on button 1, set text box 1, I have got some one text box, so I should make it as visible. Okay, or I want to make it as enabled or disabled. Okay, or I want to give some int or text, whatever I wanted to do it. Okay, so when I click on that button, so this action set the text box wants to visible to change text box want to have a multi-line this thing, or I can put a background color. See, but again it is showing here, it is wrong. See, now you can see. That means for each component, it will give you what kind of attachments needs to be made. Okay, in order to have that operation to be very successful. Okay, so like this, you are just trying to do all the codes at the back end. Once you are okay with this kind of actions, then you have to build it. See, in the Android Studio framework, we have seen we have to build the APK file. Okay, after building the APK file, and if it is successful, then only you can run. So once you are running, you can see there is an emulator which comes into a picture. What is called as Android virtual devices. Okay, and yesterday you have seen we had 2 buttons and 1 label. By clicking on those components, okay, so corresponding the text was displaying. Okay, so this requires a lot of time to do it. So enabling virtual devices will take a lot of the time. So, but in this, it is very easy to do it. Okay, you don't require that much of internet connections to do it. It's very simple to do it. So you are seeing here there is something called as a build option here. Build APK file. Okay, so once you click on this APK file, okay, if you want to run this, okay, if you want to run this, you should have an emulator embedded in this. Okay, you can create a APK file with a very easy way of doing this. Okay, you can see the APK file is being generated in this case, and it gets executed, and there will be a APK file, and you can just download that APK file and you can execute it. Okay, and if you want to start your the output of this program on the device itself, then Just a moment, I think it's still building. Okay, so this is from the the security perspective. You will get this kind of a barcode. Okay, so once you scan this barcode, so it will easily come to your mobile devices, or it will be stored in your systems itself. Okay, that means now see, this is a time taken to generate an APK file. It's very simple, but the time taken in Android Studio Framework is quite large. Okay, this is the thing. Now here you have what is called as an emulator and USB. See, there are two things. Actually, you have to install this AI comparison. Okay, when you just try to scan this code, you will have this AI comparison tool. In turn, your emulator will be enabled. Okay, so your code is also here. You can see CTTY This code will be enabled. Okay, so if you just try to click on enable, it takes time because now your AI comparison tool is not being installed. Once that is done, you can see an emulator. So how it looks, it just looks similar to this. And here I cannot do any input here because this is only an interface. Okay, but if you just try to click on emulator, then you will get a device, okay, where you can actually input the values for all these things and see how it is performing. Okay, next, otherwise the other way around is you can connect your mobile devices to your laptops where you are working and the output will be directly applicable in the on the mobile devices itself. Okay, you need not need to have this emulator. So you can so if you are connecting your mobile devices to your laptop, then you can choose an option USB. Directly APK file will be built in the mobile devices only. Otherwise, you have to build the APK file something like this. Okay, so you have a provision through a QR code and you have APK file which can be saved in the computer. Okay, so you can also save it in the computer, connect your mobile device to that laptop, then locate where that APK file is, then copy that APK file into a mobile devices and just try to install it. So if you are just trying to use only USB, connecting your mobile devices to your laptops, so automatically it can be done. Okay, so this is the thing. Just let it complete. Okay, so you can just try. There are also tutorials how to do this. You can also understand about this. The problem with all these things is even if you are making small change to any of your interfaces, again you have to build an APK file. Okay, so in this way, this is one of the drawbacks. So in the meantime, I will just show one video which you can have a look.
Hey guys, so welcome to our first lesson for a software called MIT App Inventor, which helps us create apps. So the first, so obviously a name of this app is called Buttons, Labels, and Text Boxes. So that's what we will be covering today. We'll be going through how to use buttons, what labels are, and then how text boxes relates to all that. I won't be testing out the program. I think you can do that yourself. All you need to go to is MIT App Inventor, type that in. You'll come to Google screen and you can just click the first link there, and that'll get you to a page, and then just sign up and that'll get you to this page. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a form with two text boxes, a button, and a label. So let's just bring in the first text box, second text box, a button, and a label. So what this form is going to do is that the user will enter their first name, they will enter their last name, they'll hit submit, and their name will pop up in this label. So that's why I have two text boxes, a button, and a label. So I'm going to first align this to make it look nice.
You can see here in the left bottom, .apk file is being generated. Okay. So APK file is generated here. So you can just paste it, this APK file here. APK file will be generated, and you can just store it, connect your device to a system, and you can just try to run this application, and you can see.
So align horizontal is in the center, and like vertical, I also want in the center. Now for the text box, you can cut the pop-up in this label. So that's why I have two text boxes, a button, and a label. So I'm going to first align this to make it look nice. So align horizontal is in the center.
So by using this, align horizontal and align vertical, you can place the components wherever that is required to be placed. So here they have two text boxes, one button and label.
And like vertical, I also want in the center. Now for the text box, you can customize it in the section called properties. And the first thing I want to do here is this hint. This hint is something that gives the user an idea of what to put in here. So for the hint, I'm just going to say enter first name. Pretty simple. I'll just copy this for now. Okay, enter first name. And you can customize it, like I want them to enter, whatever they enter is going to be font size 16. Maybe the font, I want it default is fine. Height and width are actually pretty okay. And yeah, that's it. Multi-line numbers only is just something. Numbers only makes it only allow, like numbers only allows the user to enter numbers, and multi-line allows the user to enter more than one line. But this is okay for now. Text alignment, so whatever you enter will be on the left. So this is okay. For the second text box, actually, for the first text box, we can name it too. So let's just rename it text box 1 first. So text box 1 is for the first name. Text box 2 is for the last name. Now for this one, obviously you have to change the hint. So enter last name. So if you move your cursor over that, you'll have first text box as enter first name and enter last name. Now button 1, let's just call it submit BTN, submit button. And for this, let's just have size 16, which is our theme that's going on. Height and width are okay. Shape, I want to make it rounded corners. I like buttons with round corners. And then the text for that. Submit. You can really have anything. You can have like finish or complete or enter, just something that makes sense. Text color will be white because I want the background of this to be blue. And the screen one's background, like the whole screen's background, I want that to be right there. Okay, I think that looks nice. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. So basically you have first, second text box, submit, and this label, size 16, this label will have nothing in it for now. What it will have is the first name, last name, and yep. Oh, text align center, so the text will be in the center of that label. Now in the blocks section, basically you want to tell the program that when this button is clicked, I want to set the text of this label. Right now this label has no text, so I want to set the text of this label too. Then these are like some of the controls, like control, logic, math, text list. We're just going to use this block here that says join. So I want to join 3 things. The first name, I want to join space, and then the last name. So this join makes one string that's going to be in the label. So I want text box, so first name, dot text. So So whatever the user enters that, I want a space in the middle. So I'm just gonna have an empty text, put a space in there. And then just duplicate this. I want the last name's text. So whatever the user enters for the last. And basically this is your program. So when you press submit, this will pop up and you can test that out. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hope this helps.
So in that specific video, they have just created two text fields and a button. And whatever you are entering there and clicking on that, that button, so it will be displayed under the text box, which is being there just below that button. Okay, and the text is will be displayed, and whatever you type it here in the first field and second field, so that information will be displayed. So coding is all about only that. So where you will have blocks and you have to just attach in the respective blocks. So this is very easy to develop apps by using this. And in fact, there will be a lot of fun in doing such kind of apps. For every day, you can build small one or the other kind of apps, which will come in your in your routine tasks, and it can be connected to your a Firebase or cloud database. Okay, so this is what I just wanted to tell you for today's class. Just wanted to give one more tool demonstrations of using a mobile. Okay, so that's all from my end. So if you have any clarifications, you can ask me.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Sir, I have one clarification.
Yeah.
Sir, using this platform, sir, only we can develop only for front end or back end also we can.
Back end also you
only
can
for
develop.
Front end only.
No, you can also develop
By using this. Sir, I'm talking about using this platform, sir.
Yes,
like
yes.
Drag and drop all those things.
Yes, that's what I'm telling. You can create a database applications here.
Okay.
Okay, so
and sir, which language
which can be deployed on cloud also. You don't require any knowledge to do this. Any configuration or knowledge is not at all required.
So which language will it use, sir, to do this?
It has got its own language to do it. See, it's a block. It does not require any kind of a coding or programming knowledge. Okay, so it is just a blocks where all programming constructs all categories, whether it's a button or radio boxes or checkboxes. For all categories of user interface components, blocks has been already written by MIT students. Okay, so you have to just attach that blocks wherever it is applicable.
Okay.
See, in this case, suppose if I'm creating a new screen, okay, you can go here and click on new screen, add screen. Okay, I will give some name and profile. Okay, button. Okay, now you have got new screen. Okay, now suppose if I'm clicking on a button now, I can make changes whatever I want in setting in attributes. And if I go to a block, okay, and there will be a button, and you can see here in button click what it should happen. When it gets focused, what it should happen. Okay, when it is touched, what it should happen. Like this, all the controls has already been written. Even if you look at this, if else statements, for each key with respect to ashes, while then evaluation, okay, then logic, if you see true, false, okay, mathematical functions, then text, join, length, whether if you are comparing two texts, you can use this. You do not write a code, okay, or if you want to convert into uppercase, so all the regular expression things is also available here. Lists, so everything is available in this. It's very easy to develop applications here. Okay, even procedures and triggers can also be written here.
Sir, I think we can use this only for small applications, sir.
No.
Right?
You can build complex applications also. Two
Okay,
years
but
back, 3 years back, when I started teaching this Android, apart from teaching this, students have also developed apps by using this MIT Inventor. Actually, in fact, I had more than 100 or 120 apps developed by the students. Every day, each and every lab, they were doing it. In fact, they have also developed an application, APK file, where whatever the lab programs that were there during that maybe 2-3 years back, so they had made an interface in such a way that left side got all the programs, and right side there was a panel where by just clicking on the code was coming. By clicking on the program name, the output was coming, and the students have developed by using this one only. They have done both, even in Android Studio Framework as well as in this MIT App Inventor.
okay, sir. Now I got this, sir.
Yeah, others? See, within 1 hour, you can build a very, very good, powerful applications by using this. Any other clarifications, anybody? Okay. I think then we'll just wind it up with this. Okay, so thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.